When dividing rational expressions, think about what happened between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 with Linda Hamilton's character. She played Sarah Connor. In the first one, she was a sweet, innocent, adorable woman, waitress, whatever. But in the second one, several years transpired, and she turned out to be a pretty, there's a word I can't say on video, but she could kick some behind. All right? So keep that in mind. When did she turn into a tough chick, a tough woman? Was it in the first one? No, it was in the second one. All right. Whenever you're dividing fractions like this, a lot of people like to say copy, dot, flip, okay? Or invert and multiply is what's really going on. So we're going to invert a fraction. The question is, which fraction, the first one or the second one? So think back to Linda Hamilton's character. When did she turn into a tough girl? In the second one, all right? Which our second one is going to be the tough one. All right, so we're going to rewrite the first one. All right, just copy it down. No change. And if you know what copy dot flip means, it means copy the first fraction, write a dot for multiplication, and flip the second one. Right? So we're inverting and multiplying the second one. If you want to understand why this does what it does, I'm going to send you back to pre-algebra course where they talk about this, where they talk about dividing fractions. I'll send you there. I'm not going to go through that, okay? But that's the first thing you want to do. Honestly, I would recommend you rewrite the first one, multiply, and then invert and multiply the second one, okay? That's the very first step because a lot of people miss what's going on here. I've seen so many people on exams miss this step. Okay, I'm going to pause this video for just a minute and go ahead and factor everything. I would recommend you do the same. Go ahead and hit pause on your video and then try to factor it. See if you can get everything factored out. The hardest part's coming up, but I've talked about factoring plenty in other videos, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Otherwise, this video is going to be super long. So let me just pause for a minute, and when I unpause, you're going to see this thing all factored out. All right. How'd you do? Did you get them? Did you get it all factored out? If you had trouble factoring, if you're one of my students, look on the online notes. I've got this all posted online, and on this one I think I showed how I factored, although I think I did synthetic factoring. There are other approaches as to how to factor that. Or you can go to the comments column of this video and ask how did you factor this. I'm sure there's going to be someone out there who would be happy to answer that question for you. It might even be me if I'm watchful enough. But anyway, that's how these guys factor down, okay? The 8x squared plus 14, the 8z squared plus 14z plus 3 is 2x plus 3, 2z plus 3 and 4z plus 1. Down here we've got 20z squared plus z minus 1. It factors to 5z minus 1 and 4z plus 1. Up here I've got 35z squared plus 3z minus 2. It factors to 4z minus 1 and 7z plus 2. And down here in the last denominator I've got 2z squared plus 7z plus 6. It factors to 2z plus 3 and z plus 2. And now it's time for the Terminator. Here's my Terminator marker. This is the best part. 2z squared, or 2z plus 3 drops with this 2z plus 3. 4z plus 1 drops with this 4z plus 1. 5z minus 1 drops with this 5z minus 1. And, oh, so close. I thought I'd get them all. This guy has a 7. That's my answer over there. We're looking at it. It's 7z plus 2 over z plus 2. I love multiplying and dividing rational expressions because my favorite part is this guy right here. I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's what I love doing on these. So next up, adding and subtracting rational expressions.